Checks. Welcome once again to Clinical Theurgy, episode 26. The party is still alive.
Surprisingly.
Why is that surprising?
Well, because we were in the forest last time.
And apparently the piddliest little vines are our kryptonite.
Yeah. So, we were able to retrieve Baru, dead, unfortunately, because he healed too much. There was no way to take him back alive without, there was just a very fine line. We couldn't walk it. So we took him back. We encountered the goblins again, and they were wanting us to bring Flicker to them, and we said no. They wanted us to cut Baru's head off, and we could take the head, take the body. And we debated on that seriously, but Goron had serious objections, so we decided not to do that. And then they wanted us to leave a flaming bag of dog poop on Flicker's door, and we said no, we weren't going to do that either. And so they decided that since we couldn't come to an agreement, they were just going to walk away. And
out of character, I really like the idea of that just being a flaming bag of dog crap.
Yes, but that certainly was not what it is. It is not what John asked me to put on that rich person's thing. The flaming beacon of dog shit.
Of him not even actually having an ulterior motive and just deciding to be like, here you go, do this, mess with them.
It was a box they asked you to leave. They asked you to leave there.
True.
Yes. So we were able to successfully leave the forest, but once we got back into town, Niev started remembering her history in the Faian Empire and how she used to travel the forests, and there was a citadel in the forest, and she would travel with her sister, and she was sad because she didn't really want to leave the forest. But we persisted. We left the forest. We brought Baru back. We met a very nice gentleman that was not stuck up at all. And basically he was telling us, like, okay, if you guys want to be heroes, then this is all on you. If basically when this doesn't work, we're going to be blamed and we're going to have to go do more stuff, is what I got from that. But Ninoslav, was happy with us.
Because he doesn't lose his job now.
Yeah. And we were duly rewarded for our trouble. We got some houses on the north side of town.
Yeah, we didn't love the houses.
Mm-hmm.
And we got another writ. Oh no, I'm sorry. The writ gear was ours.
Correct.
Is what they said. And an indeterminate amount of money, but it will probably be sizable. And and the very nice man was named Rion Johansson.
Yes.
And he's a
piece
dude.
of shit.
He was a very nice man. I don't know what you're.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say Duke or douche?
That one. No.
So that's kind of where we left off, as we were debriefing with Ninoslav, and we got he was telling us what our rewards were going to be for completing this.
So Ninoslav will explain to you that, like, the rest of your money will be coming shortly. There is currently a bit of an allocation issue. They're waiting for resolution of things. So all you can take your break. He should have more information for you over the next 3 days. So if you guys can come back here and check in with him, he'll have that reward money for you. But otherwise, pack up your things and move into your new places.
Sweet.
Heck yeah.
That ought to be pretty easy. I'm carrying everything I own on my back.
Are our houses like next to each other, or are they like spread out?
No, your houses are basically like right next to each other. You're given
We're next door neighbors.
You're given homes like kind of in a row. There is a big patch of area where they have basically allocated land to ministry members that have like done substantial work. They're ministry members. They need to be able to keep in sort of a secure area, and this area is one of the more secure areas of town. There's a lot of magical defenses here. There's a lot of like guards and other people who live in this area, so it happens to have a lot of security involved in it. It is referred to as the Bastion, because it is very difficult for anyone to like penetrate it that's not supposed to be there. A lot of people in the rest of the city outcry it's not fair. There's this district that's so much more secure, and everybody else on like the outskirts has to deal with all these like issues, and that like this district should be instead separated. It shouldn't be that they all live in one place. But obviously on the opposite end, people argue the opposition that like, no, like we have to be able to keep the security, the people that need to be secure so that you guys can be safe to any degree, because it would suck if like a duke living out in the middle of like some area just got assaulted and there weren't guards nearby. So there's a lot of like squabbling back and forth in politics about like which side, which way things should go. But for now, it's been that way for hundreds of years, and people are pretty content with it. You know, for the most part, it's not like a huge point of civil unrest. It's just a thing that like, you know, armchair economists and politicians will spend their time like debating back and forth.
How much land is there on the houses? Would I have a room for a small garden?
You would have enough room for a small garden. It would not be a sizable garden. Each of you are given, I think it would be the equivalent of a quarter acre of land. Hold on, let me make sure, because I always forget the sizing of an acre. No, it would be, I think it's a tenth of an acre is what it is. Because a quarter acre is still far too big. I'll have to look it up. I don't have the exact square footage, but it is, consider it like the equivalent of having a townhome. But they're not in townhome styling. They're done more like they're done in a lot of metropolitan areas, where it is that townhome styling, but with a yard that wraps all the way around it on either side. But your bedrooms are basically on the upper floor. You have two bedrooms on the upper floor. On the lower floor, you have a living room, dining room, kitchen, and you do have a small basement.
So basically like the co-ops?
Yeah. Well, the co-ops are actually designed around a miniaturized version of like city block housing.
Yeah. Just for a visual reference for me and me alone, basically.
Yep. But yeah, they come with all the amenities that you could possibly want. So they come with a lot of what is considered like moderate arcanotech. So you have things like a running water faucet. You have a dishwasher. You have like an oven, almost what you would consider an oven normal by your standards. So it has like a bar where you can kind of like run your finger across it to set the heat to what you want the heat to be. They all come with like projection viewing globes, where instead of having to stare into it to see it, you can actually see a projection of it above the globe itself, which is nice for mass viewing. Because they don't necessarily need to be angular, and they actually change based on the angle that you're sitting at. The bedrooms are all equipped with reasonable enough beds. You can choose to upgrade these in time, but these beds will slightly reduce the amount of time that you need to sleep to recover if you happen to be sleeping in town. There's also some other furnishing throughout the house. You have like the bathrooms are running water, and they evacuate directly into the sewer system. And so yeah, it is very upscale from what some of you, especially like what Brianna used to be used to, and definitely from what Antaeus would have been used to, having to like share that little kind of co-op space with all the other alchemists in town.
I bet Antaeus'
actually
basement's
gonna
going to
move
be
out
his
of the
lab.
church.
It's in some ways the church is probably nicer to stay in than staying here, because the church does offer certain amenities that you won't get in the house. But at the same time, the church obviously lacks the privacy that you might otherwise have.
My church is so fancy.
Antaeus, is your lab going to be in the basement?
That depends on how many fumes I have. Then I might have to make it on the top floor so it doesn't make the rest of my house all full of noxious gases.
Is your lab going to be chocolate?
Ooh, I hadn't thought about that, but I like it.
I'll
Oh,
come
you're
hang
talking
out
about
in that
dogs.
lab.
Oh, were you talking about dogs, Steve?
I was double entendring there, yes.
Ah, good.
Oh, I was
Good.
thinking literally made out of chocolate, like some Willy Wonka weirdness happening. I'm like, chocolate? Chocolate? What?
I will speak to the party and ask them if they'll save their food scraps because I want to start a compost bin.
What?
Wait,
Is composting well known? Is this like a known thing? People do?
If you're not the kind of person that's into nature, you'd probably have like the same understanding of it that a layperson would have about composting. So Antaeus, you know a reasonable amount about composting. To you, that's like a good way to salvage spell components that people are like not understanding are valuable.
I want to roll this just for fun, even though technically I'm untrained. I want to see how bad it goes. Oh, that's actually not as bad as I thought would
Yeah,
happen.
so you have about Karen level of understanding what composting is.
Hey now.
You're like, garbage, you want to collect my garbage.
Sure. I suppose I could do that, provided I'm able to kind of make sure there aren't valuable spell components being thrown out.
Certainly. It'll help feed my garden.
Sure. That's something I'm not used to people doing around here, but okay. I don't see why not. Where is this thing?
All right. So yeah, you're gonna put a garden in. Antaeus, do you have plans to sort of set up your lab in the basement for now?
Yeah. For now, basically. So he did say that I get to keep that bag of holding, right?
Yes.
Just to clarify. Okay,
Yep.
good. Because I threw a bunch of my stuff into there. I've got basically everything except for my ring, and
it is contingent though on you eventually finding the book. And if you don't find the book in a certain amount of time, you may be assigned to go find that book.
Which brings me back to my next question. Do I still have that coin? Because I had that coin on my person still, but I didn't know if it had disappeared when the book disappeared.
What coin?
The coin, the first thing that we were able to find out of the book.
Yes.
I don't know if we have found
you
the
would not have
value of
lost
it.
the coin.
Okay, cool, good. Because then I might have to be studying that to see if I can find out what happened to the book or potentially what happened to it. I didn't know if like that would disappear along with it or not. So, well, actually, I don't know why I would think that because Niev is still here. So,
yep.
If that was the case,
no, the items that come out of the book are definitely out of the book.
Perfect.
Also, I'm gonna have to find my notes on the coin because I didn't remember you pulling out the coin. That is entirely lost from my brain. So.
Yeah, I have it in my inventory as.
Pretty sure it was the very first
coin
time.
from the
It was definitely the first thing that was removed from the book. I remember like there being one item before the necklace. I just I don't know why it is lost from my memory that
it was like
removed.
the very first time him and that scientisty kind of guy were messing with it, and it was like the first thing that they fiddled with and figured out that they could pull objects out.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll. I mean, I don't have a lot of things I need to do with my house, so I'll probably. Well, it already comes with a bed, so. I have a portable alchemist's lab, so I guess I'll set that up for the time being until I buy a better one.
Okay.
Then I have a bunch of other things that I need to purchase, mostly drug related. I do have to buy that scroll that I was talking to you about, the polypurpose panacea.
Yeah. Well,
Harry Potter style.
let's start first with the fact that you are looking for drug stuff.
Oh yeah, good point.
And because Zigmar's is actually looking for you if you go looking around for some of your components.
Actually, yeah, he'd probably be the first person I'd go to because I know that he knows people.
Sigma.
Look who's finally back in town.
Yes. We've surprisingly returned. Things got a little rough out there. By the way, I couldn't remember what your crest looked like, and I'll kind of like look it over again to see how close my
You were way the fuck off.
But did you happen to find that thing that I left in the woods?
No, I didn't find anything like that.
Okay. I'll have to. I'm gonna draw down his the symbol of his crest.
Okay.
Like a crude version of it, enough so that I can kind of remember what it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else must have grabbed that then.
If it happened just outside of town, I'm sure lots of people would have.
Yes, but I put what I thought was your crest symbol on there in order to prevent people from taking it, but I was very wrong in what it looked like.
Well, you'll get better at it, I'd hope. I mean, if we're going to continue to do business together, you should probably be good at these things.
Yeah, there was something that hadn't occurred to me until after we had left town about that. It was a bullet, something like that. Boulet.
Also, I thought I was very clear in warning you. That weird guy that I recommended you go see.
Yes.
You need to use the item more.
Yeah, now that we have some more downtime, I intend to.
He knows when you're not using it.
That's concerning on many levels. Why is he concerned about that?
He mentioned something about a blood god? And you're not satisfying the blood god, and the blood god will get very angry if you don't use it? You have no idea what the fuck a blood god is. No idea. What a time to botch. What a time to botch.
A blood god?
Yes. I thought it was weird too. No one I've ever known has ever talked about a blood god.
Interesting. I would go back and ask him, but that place terrifies me.
Yeah, you and I both.
But yes, I intend to use it and see the extent of the abilities that it has.
Well, good. I would get on that, because he's been really pressuring my people in the streets. He has these weird things. He calls them the hemogoblins. They're like slightly smaller looking goblinoids, but they're all red and they like drip all over the place.
What?
Yeah, hemogoblins. I find it offensive. But fuck that guy. Yeah, so obviously this is a play on blood. Hemo for blood, and goblins because it's like Globin. They're really disgusting. You need to do just do whatever it takes to stop this shit from happening. It's really ruining people's interactions with my customers.
Is he lording this over your head?
I'm the one who led you to him, so he is putting this on me.
Oh, hopefully that's not a permanent thing that he's going to be doing, but
also,
yes, I'll be using it.
Rumor has it that your friend is no longer in town. Is this true?
Elizabeth?
Yeah. Somebody said something about her being carted off?
Yes, I believe that she was being sent to Levy? The asylum?
Ugh, that's pretty sad. I didn't think her crazy. Usually it's the crazy ones that are interested in me.
I mean, I suppose that makes sense and lines up. But she seems mostly level-headed, aside from a couple of run-ins with, well, there was Boogeyman and there was a few other things that we ran into out there, but
Boogeymen?
yeah, don't
Like
worry
boogie
about
down men?
it. Sure, we'll go with that. Speaking of which, though, there were a few things that I was hoping to be able to procure, partially so that I could test this dagger, short sword, whatever, this thing out, and see the extent of its abilities.
Sure.
And
I think I probably got some stuff. I got a favor for you to ask then if we're gonna start exchanging things here.
Sure.
Any chance you're gonna be going back to Knightsbridge? I heard you guys left town for that way a little while back.
It is possible, but there are.
In night.
I'm sorry,
It's
Kari
like-
4.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I assumed you
Yeah.
meant. Even though, yeah. I possibly, depending on what comes of this certain thing that I'm looking for, but I don't have any current plans to. No. Why is something in Carrefour?
There's some. I've heard there's some stuff that's been dropped around, bits and pieces of things. They look kind of like scales. If you can bring, they should be larger though, like about, and he holds up his hands, like about yay big. If you can bring back a couple of them, I'd like to play around with them.
If we're able to, I'll see if maybe we can. Is it safe to go there?
Hell if I know. Nobody's going there right now, that's for damn sure. In fact, I'm surprised they sent your friend off to Levi. Pretty dangerous route to take, I've heard.
Oh?
Oh, yeah. Carrefour
Oh,
traffic to and from Carrefour for most civilians has been put on hold for a while now.
I forgot that they would have to go through Carrefour unless they took some sort of back route, which I doubt they would do.
There's not a safe back route. It would take you like 5 times the time.
Interesting. That is very, very interesting. Well, I will bring it up with everybody because now I'm more concerned about what's going on there. If you find out any more information about that or her, or if you come across a book that you don't know what to do with, if you let me know, that'd be great.
Sure, if I come across books, I'll let you know.
Oh, it's a very specific book. I think if it stands out, and let me know. It's I lost it and I don't know where it went.
Okay.
It's very magical, and
I'll tell you what, if somebody finds a very magical book, they're probably not bringing it to me.
I figured as much, but I was hoping that if at least if you knew something about it at some point, it'd be helpful. But I don't expect there to be a lot of word going on around about it.
All right, let's hear what you need.
The Carvises.
The who?
The Carvises.
Carvis.
Harvest. Sorry, Harvest. Yes, not the one here. The one that was in Carrefour. If you know any information about him, that'd be helpful.
Nothing I've heard yet, but nobody's really come back from that area aside from you four.
He was so certain that he was going to make it out alive, regardless of whether or not the thing attacked the town. So I'm just curious as to his whereabouts. But, anyways, I'm sorry. I'm rambling. Yes. I have a few things that I'd like to get some components for that I can try to, so that I can make them.
Okay.
And if you have anybody that needs to buy anything, I do have a little bit of downtime. Would be more than willing to earn a little bit of extra money.
Okay. So you, the two of you can work out some things. Whatever, of the stuff that you've listed, he won't charge you for that because he's going to assume you're going to get out to Kari 4. and bring him back some supplies.
Yeah, I'll let him know that I'll keep him updated on the decision to go out there.
Yep. Yeah, basically, right now, any of those items that you want under 20 gold, you can have free access to, and that's sort of your exchange for you supplying other people with things that they want.
A few of these are under 20.
Sure.
Actually,
consider it like a piggy bank. For everything that you can get, you can basically exchange out something of equivalent value.
Okay, so yeah, if I'll mark it down the value of it, so that way, if for whatever reason I'm not able to fulfill his request, I'll just buy it, the components outright.
Well, this isn't just from him. This is assuming you're using your alchemical knowledge and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna use that to test the things.
Yeah.
Specifically, there was one or two that I wanted to find that were a little more expensive. Also, I don't know if I have access to strange fluids, but that was the one that I was concerned about not being able to find.
Strange fluids?
The other ones were just all on the list of that was on the SRD that we had looked at before.
Amadeus needs some strange fluids.
What do you mean by strange fluids?
Oh, it's on that list of drugs.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
You could visit Brianna's Inn. There's probably some strange fluids around there.
Oh, not those kind of strange fluids. No.
Okay, yeah, you can acquire this stuff, but it will cost you. You will have to pay for this, or you can produce it yourself.
Yeah, I didn't know if any of this stuff would be available from the stuff that I bought back in the 300 gold worth of stuff.
No, anything that you're getting now, you have new knowledge of. So.
Okay. Because it was just miscellaneous drug components from that.
But I mean, right now you can acquire components and produce what you like, or you can acquire components and use what you'd like.
Gotcha. The second one, I didn't see you, but I'm assuming that there were air quotes up there.
No, there was.
He was slicing his hand.
Or a little bit of this if you really need components desperately.
I'm not that adventurous. No, that's what I assumed you were getting at. I didn't know you were actually doing the motion for it.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to find the one. Actually, there was one specifically that I wanted to try to get that was more expensive. And I will try to find that one again real quick. But
okay.
Yeah, that's basically all I was going to be doing for the time being.
Okay. Who's got some other stuff around town they want to do before they find out how much money they're getting?
I might see if there's anyone around that can more in depth maybe see if I am cursed or not, since we're kind of I might be, but we're not positive. So
yeah. So what church would you prefer to go to? What do you feel like Ivy's religious drive would be towards?
I mean, I don't.
Just to quickly say, if you let this be known, are you letting this be known to us that you're doing this? Because I would insist you go to my church.
Yeah,
I literally have removed curse, so I would try to help you do things.
Yeah, I would tell everyone okay, I wanted to ask Ninaslav if they had anyone that would just do that for us, but
so glad you had removed curse.
So yeah, I would let everyone know that I'm.
Nonsense. Morin and I can take care of it. If I can't do it, he can.
All right, well, let's go to your church then, I guess.
Okay.
Excellent.
The two of you head to the Church of Shashat.
Is Morin...
Moirin is there. Goran, you've made it back!
What? How do I say his name again? Morin or...
Moirin.
Moirin. Okay,
yes.
I keep saying it wrong. Maybe I do that in character and it annoys him with my dwarven tongue.
He's actually
half dwarven, isn't he?
He is partially dwarven, yes. But he is still annoyed that you are.
I'm trying.
You're because you haven't been raised around dwarves, you don't have the dwarven intonation, so you're failing to apply the extra dwarven syllable that's supposed to be there.
All right. Well, I'll try to make a conscious effort. Moirin, I bring you my new ally. it appears she may have been given some sort of death curse. I was going to try to remove it myself, but I've never actually done it before, so I don't know if I'll be successful.
You won't be.
What?
I won't be either. How bad is it?
I have no idea. We're not even positive I was death cursed, but it seemed like that it made sense logically. He was dying and he was uttering some strange words that one of our party members translated into probably a death curse, but there was something weird about the language he used. Like, it wasn't the right language for a death curse. So we're not really entirely sure, but I figured it's better to get it looked into rather than just hope it's not.
Very well. This is not good news. He will proceed. Let me double check something here.
John, you don't happen to have remove disease also, do you?
I do. I don't usually prepare it though, but
That's fair. I was actually hoping that you would have that just in case. No,
you contract a disease.
No, because it helps get rid of addiction.
Does it really?
I believe so.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's
How
going
addicted
to.
Are you?
No, just in case, just in the off chance that it needs to be used.
Moirin will take a moment to cast a spell on you. And as he does so, he will, look upon you sadly. It is definitely a curse. And I don't think you're going to be doing well. I would propose that the closer you feel like you are to death's door, the sooner I recommend you get away.
Can I gauge check how powerful I think Moirin is?
Yeah.
See if he underestimates my strength. Ugh.
Yeah, you're not sure.
Yeah. Are you sure?
You're welcome to try it if you don't believe me. Go for it yourself.
I believe you.
No, go for it. You're stubborn.
Is there any indication if it fails, or I just will never know?
You'll see, it won't do a damn thing. Do it yourself, though. Go on.
All right. I'll crack my neck and...
Just didn't want your first use of it to be you looking like a giant loser.
Jesus. I mean, Shashot. My Shashot's grace. You don't have to be so rude.
You offend me assuming I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't mean any offense. I just reached...
There may not be as much dwarf in me as there is in you, but I still take pride in what I do.
I've just recently gotten closer to Shashot and obtained new abilities, and I'm just looking for...
Yes, and I'm sure like everyone else you assume I'm not on your level.
I don't know why you would make such an assumption like that. I can tell you're very powerful as I chant the words for remove curse on Ivy.
Yeah, you will literally feel, as you reach out a hand to her, energy pushing back against the very magic that's in your hand, and the magic actually becomes, dampened completely as you place a hand on her.
Ooh.
You see, lad? You can't remove a dying curse with just the magic. We must speak with Shashot and identify what it is that she must do to undo this curse. A dying curse is not a frivolous thing.
Might be an issue. Speaking to Shashot might be an issue.
Speaking to Shashot will not be an issue.
I've had trouble speaking with her of late.
Well, perhaps your faith is in rocky states because you question your superiors.
No, it should be the opposite. I put more faith in Shashot than my superiors.
What?
Don't you?
I am your superior.
Yes, and I'm sure you.
And
would
you're
trust
saying you put
Shashat.
more faith in Shashat than I do?
No, I think we just both really like Shashat. That's what I think.
I
is
don't
happening.
like Shashat. I love Shashat.
Well, yes, I just.
Shashat has done great
Alright.
things for myself and everyone else.
Boys, can we stop fighting over Sasha? I'm sure you both love her equally, and I'm sure she loves you both equally. Can we move back to the important thing here? How do I get rid of this death curse?
Well, yes. There's going to be some manner by which you're going to need to perform a task in order to remove it. Let me consult with this. And he is going to like ask that you wait here for a moment. He's going to go into the back, and he's going to come out with a very large silver, or not a very large, but like a ornate like statue of the book and bow in his hand. And he's going to walk over to you, and he's going to ask that you place this in your hands, and carry it with him to a small room.
Okay, I will do so.
He'll ask Gulran to follow because he feels it's worth Gulran being a part of this and seeing what's about to happen. It might even teach you that I'm not far below you, boy.
I didn't mean to imply such things.
He proceeds to light some incense around the small room. And he gestures, I'll need you to kneel. And I'll need you to keep your attention focused in the object in your hands.
Alright, I will do so.
He will walk about the room. And the three of you will be in the room for about an hour. Gulran, you will watch as he goes through a series of motions. He first takes a censure and walks throughout the room, getting an sort of even level of air pressure and scent and smoke flowing through the room itself. Once the room has sort of reached this point, he'll stop, he'll say a prayer. He'll stand back up again. He'll take another object, and he will start casting various lights throughout the room in various different spots, trying to get almost as if he were some sort of director in a film, trying to get the lighting to just the perfect point. He'll then stop again. He'll pray one more time. And then there are a few words that he'll have you recite. And once you recite them, he will recite them after you. He'll then do another prayer. He will pull out a book, and he will read a series of passages from it. And this whole process kind of goes on for about an hour. And after about an hour, you must fell something that you yourself must oppose, that is a greater challenge than you are. And without the aid of others, and without the aid of your skills, without the aid of your magics, you must overtake it. That is how you will remove the curse, and as soon as you have done so, it will be done. This is what Shashat has deemed.
Oh gosh. Okay. That doesn't sound terrifying at all.
Do you happen to know the particulars of the curse? If she just leaves it alone, will it fester, or is it only on when she comes close to death or something? Or?
From the feel of it, she has been she has a curse which triggers upon near death. The closer to death in which she is, the more likely the curse is to trigger. And the curse will trigger each time she reaches this point, until it either kills her or she completes this quest.
Yikes. Sounds like something you should probably try to get done before we set out on another hard mission.
Well, it will be very difficult to find such a challenge here. She would literally have to go out willing to stake her life in a battle against people much more powerful than she is. I guess not much more, but definitely more powerful than she is.
Do you have any suggestions? Like, have other people accomplished this feat? Is there any method of doing this in the safest manner possible? Like, is there some areas where...
My dear boy, if this were the kind of thing where you could just simply walk up to somebody and be like, "May I insert a sword into you, that I might slay you so I can remove my curse?" I assure you there would be like a whole career path about this. However, these are the kinds of things that the gods are forced to follow rules on. And this is the kind of thing that, unfortunately, your poor friend here is going to have to find a challenge herself and hope that it is the right one. I will tell you that it's as long as people follow heed the warnings of the curses, they often find themselves living reasonable lives. It is when they violate the curses or when they take unnecessary risks with the curse in place that they find the curse be more true than they think it was. And go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to ask if there's any specifics she needs to do upon slaying a creature she deems worthy, or is it just all taken care of by the gods, I guess?
The spell I have cast is a deal with the gods. A deal which trades her life, well, her death, in exchange for this measure of salvation. Effectively, I guess to explain this better to you, a death curse is one where a party finds themselves so enraged that they are no longer concerned with their own immortal soul, and instead are more concerned with making sure that punishment comes to those who've wronged them unfairly. They're willing to basically offer the soul that they curse to whatever patron they serve in exchange for their own. Effectively, she will still carry with her the very creature that downed her. He, or whatever, if what you said was true, will remain cursed to her, looking for the time that he can strike, until he is freed of the pain of being attached. What is it like an eternal punishment to be trapped, connected to someone? But rage overwhelms that torture.
Understood. And from your words, it sounded like none of our friends can offer her aid in such a combat. Correct?
These often have very awkward stipulations. In some cases, you can provide some measure of aid, but you must be careful with how you apply the aid. She must be the one to alone fell the creature, but that does not implicitly mean that there cannot be some measure of aid. But her own magics cannot be of aid to her. And excessive magics for many of you might invalidate the legitimacy of the task at hand. I'm sure from the sound of it, this creature may, in fact, merely be jealous or frustrated with the fact that he was felled by her magic. And he feels like an unfair insurgence of magic into a situation is what led to his demise.
I was merely thinking of perhaps, I'm sure you know the spell Shield Other would greatly help her against a foe much stronger than her and give her a fighting chance. But perhaps withholding any healing would still be a challenge, but at least maybe level the playing field a little bit. I wouldn't want her to die.
It is possible.
Although,
I wish I had better answers for you more specifically, but these things get very complicated. That's the wrong tone.
is the Lanrian Church more knowledgeable about these things? I just don't want to offend any gods if I do anything.
The curses are all rules created by the gods. It is very rare that one of our types would ever inflict such a curse, but it has happened historically. It is not about certain religions being more inclined, more understanding of them. It is about the rules that were set into place by the divine creation.
In your opinion, my magics were on place on her when she felled this creature. Could that impact it?
Did something about her magics cause something to be more substantial?
Yes, but she also survived more because of my magics as well, so I don't know if...
The creature likely did not know the magics that you had applied to her.
True. Alright. Thank you, Moirin. You've given us great insight into this problem.
Glad to be of help.
Thank you for your help, although it's not very great news.
I would like to give you better, but unfortunately, these sorts of things are very rough to handle. You're lucky whatever it is you came into contact with was not worse than what you have now.
Yeah, I guess lucky is a way to think of it.
I would like to speak Moirin quickly on my own after Ivy leaves.
Yeah.
But before she leaves, I'll whisper to her and say, it's customary to leave donation for the church after they've given you service. What? It's true. You should donate to people.
Look, Ivy is not a religious person. She probably has not been into churches that often, so she's like, wait, really? I'm supposed to leave a donation?
Yeah, seems legit.
Once they're finished servicing you, you're supposed to give them a tip.
Yeah, just leave it on the bedside table.
Mm-hmm.
If she looks hesitant, I'll hand her 10 gold.
No, that's fine. I have my own money. I just don't know how much I'm supposed to leave. I've not been into churches that often.
I think 10 is sufficient.
I will awkwardly offer 10 gold to Moirin.
He'll accept it.
And then I'll head back to my house, I guess.
I apologize for the rudeness of my friend. I hand him 36 gold. I'll cover the rest as much as I can.
It's not to worry. Don't get all uptight about that.
I still hand him 36 gold, and then I let him know.
Oh, he did not take your gold. So.
Oh, he won't take it?
No, he didn't not take your gold. He absolutely was like, sure, I'll take the gold, but then he's like, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay. Moirin, I just thought I should let you know. The ministry has allowed us to claim ownership of our writs, so I believe that means the church should be in full ownership of this gear that you fashioned for me.
Now, the church already was in full ownership of the gear. It's a weird compromise we have. But what it really means is that we don't owe them the money back. We get to keep a better portion of the money.
Well, that's good. I just want to let you know for your records, at least, so then there's no confusion.
I do appreciate that. I'll make sure that's taken care of.
All right. And then I'll just make small talk with him, catch up, and see if there's any small tasks I can be doing around the church to help out. Any cure spells or anything like that I can be.
Yeah, no, he'd be happy to have you around. He will talk about if you actually happen to have a bit of remove curse. There has been a big problem recently with somebody in the lower districts who has recently started dabbling in some level of witchcraft. And they've been learning that, if you get together in a small coven, you can place curses on people by combining your magical power. And so
I swear.
They have had a string of people coming in cursed with really random things, curses where people are losing some small amount of gold every day, or curses where like people can't eat cheese. Like they're really bizarre. They're really, really bizarre curses. But it's like if somebody just started experimenting with it. If like some group of people was just like, I want to do something bad, but I don't want to do something so bad it like ruins lives and it draws big attention to us. So it's really just been a nuisance for the church, like having these people come in and they're like, well, we have to do something about this. Like we can't let these people be running around like, you know, having all these problems. But at the same time, these are a lot of people that don't exactly have a lot of money. So it's really like a service the church is giving away. But it's usually only like 3 or 4 people a day, so it's not terrible. But it's a big resource loss when you're considering like a third level spell every 3 or 4 of them every day.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll offer to do that.
Okay.
Do I need to make caster level checks to try and remove it?
No, you're fine because they're very low level, so
Okay.
it'll be like something that you might have to see them more than once. Each time, but you'll definitely be able to cure more than he's been able to. There is a bit of a backlog because he's got a limit on it, and there aren't a lot of clerics at your level that can do that are able to do this.
Okay. And just an FYI, my rest macro looks to be broken, but we can worry about that later.
Hit your rest macro. Click on Ghoul Run.
Yeah. Oops.
That was spell resistance.
Yeah, I'll copy and paste the thing I'm getting.
All right. Because I want to resolve this now. I bet it might actually be the description part. Let me cut something out of there and have you rerun it, and tell me.
Yeah,
it
it
works.
is about the description. It says something /descript is not a command or something.
So players are not allowed to use description tags. That's fucking annoying.
Yeah, I just threw it in the thing just so you know.
Yeah, mine's doing the exact same thing, so it might be on everyone's.
All right, let's go ahead and take a short break then.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm annoyed because like these are the kinds of things where it should be like this is a GM only feature.
Right.
Because I've now programmed this for multiple games and it turns out it doesn't work. So we'll be back while I fix this bug, and see what happens after the break.